There's some serious issues that weren't answered, and they're not answering the questions. And they just want everyone to get on with their life, which sounds really nice on a tragedy, but it doesn't sound nice if it's to cover up something really hairy. Then it's not so nice. Then it's just part of the cover-up, and it doesn't work so well. And there are just so many questions, and why are there so many questions?
Let's try to answer some of those questions by looking at the projectile motion of the North Tower World Trade Center 1 debris. The evildoers who planned this tragedy must have believed that most folks didn't pay close attention during science class. Thanks to the internet, we can easily refresh our memories with a high school tutorial.
The second tower, and that's what you're looking at now. Again, this was not very long ago, 10, 15 minutes ago. The second tower, it almost looks like one of those implosions of buildings that you see.
Televised footage provides us with clear examples of debris falling from the North Tower. Since collapsing debris can only move downward, a horizontal projectile would be the upper extreme possible. However, the arc of the farthest debris doesn't match the cannonball fired horizontally. Let's try another possibility. Non-horizontally launched projectiles have an upward velocity. We've all seen this type of motion when watching fireworks shoot high into the sky. In this example, the upward velocity and the outward velocity are equal, creating a 45-degree angle for the cannonball arc. The y component represents up and down, and the x-axis represents left and right. At the start, they are equal. At the top of the arc, the y value is 0. As the cannonball falls to the original level of the cannon, its speed increases to its original value of 60 meters per second. Yet the x value remains the same throughout the flight of the cannonball. Let's compare this example to the North Tower debris. In a natural collapse, debris should fall close to the side of the building. However, in the case of the North Tower, we see upward explosions of dust and smoke in a symmetrical pattern. From within the falling debris, we can see an explosive puff of cloud rising as another section is ejected in an arc roughly 600 feet or 2 football fields away from the tower. The dust clouds following the ejected debris are consistent with an explosive event, whereas large chunks of concrete would normally result from a simple collapse. This would indicate that a powerful explosion must have ejected this heavy steel debris with equal upward and outward force to create this shape of projectile motion. Let's take a closer look at the North Tower implosion. At the first detonation level, a demolition squib is visible, indicating advanced sequencing of explosions is occurring inside the tower. From a closer angle, we can more clearly see the advanced demolition squibs ejecting concrete dust at high speed in a symmetrical pattern. We also notice the detonations progressing down the right side of the building at the same speed as the free-fall debris. On the left side, we see vaporized heavy steel beams leaving a trail behind as they fall. This clear evidence of controlled demolition far below the collapse level proves without a doubt that the official story of a pancake collapse is a complete fraud designed to fool the public. As we watch the North Tower implosion once again, we notice demolition squibs ejected from 2 floors simultaneously on the right side of the tower. Some skeptics have suggested that air pressure down elevator shafts could be responsible for this. However, it is a typical feature of controlled demolitions, and the equal spacing between levels of ejected dust and the central positioning rule out any random element of chance. As the implosion progresses, the second level of demolition squibs come into view. These are clearly visible from other camera angles using forward and reverse playback. As heavy steel beams are ejected from the first detonation level marked in yellow, debris from the start of the collapse can be seen falling close to the side of the tower. It appears that the non-horizontal arc of the projectile motion matches a 45-degree upward ejection angle. FEMA's Building Performance Study provides a map with scale that we can use to measure the distance the North Tower debris was ejected into the roof of the Winter Garden. Since we can clearly see the base of the near side of the tower, we will measure across the center of the tower and then subtract the width of the tower, 207 feet, to find the projectile distance to be roughly 600 feet. This photo shows the damage to nearby buildings from North Tower debris. Here we can see how the large outer steel sections are sticking out of the American Express building like arrows out of a target. Large sections of the North Tower's outer steel framework weigh hundreds of tons joined together. Where did the huge amount of energy come from to eject them roughly 600 feet through the air into the rooftop of the Winter Garden?